Got a beautiful sunrise popping up in the Yakima Valley this morning as you look out to the south and east. We face southern exposure, so it's in the corner of our window. But man, oh man, beautiful sunrise underway. That means one thing. It's going to be fabulous next 2 hours on the radio. Anytime you see a good... Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's in the Farmer's Almanac.
I was wondering. It's
Yeah,
Farmer's Almanac. Really?
Page 122,
Really?
I think.
Gotcha.
You know,
Okay.
Blue sky at night, sailor's delight, whatever that is. It's, great sunrise, perfect radio show, or something like that.
There you go.
I can't remember.
Hey, our candidate interviews begin right now. Thank you very much. Yes, they do. And they're going to continue all week, by the way. If you got your ballot, we know a lot of you have already voted. Like 5% have already turned them in, probably more from over the weekend. But for those of you who don't, hold on. We on the phone this morning, we have Representative Tom Dent.
Of course we do.
13th District. Good morning, Mr. Tom Dent.
Well, good morning, gentlemen. How you doing today? And sure, it's going to be a perfect radio show. What are you starting with?
That's what I was getting at without getting at it. Good to have you with us, Tom.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Am I to understand? Can we talk about this?
Yes, you can.
All right, sir. How's your health right now?
Well, I got this little virus thing going on. They call it COVID.
Aha.
So, I don't recommend it. You will not like it. Okay.
Won't like
so
it.
you skip that part. Just go ahead and take care of yourself.
Wow.
But
Tom,
no,
have you been suffering? Have you been suffering from all the symptoms?
so far, I think I've gone through every symptom anybody's talked about.
Oh,
And it's crazy. It started out pretty benign in the beginning, and then kind of started to go away, and then came back a little stronger. And it's played this game now. Today will be in the day 15.
Wow.
So
wow.
I thought we'd have it kicked out of the state by now, but the effect is all a little different. I've learned that and talked to lots of people. Of course, once you get it, then you start meeting everybody else who's got it.
Yeah.
Sure.
But
it is.
anyway,
it does affect each individual. Some, have a worse level of symptoms. Some have no symptoms. Some are put on a ventilator. It really is you're a tough hombre. So I'm surprised it even dared mess with you.
That's right. Hey, everyone, we need to let you know that we are talking to the 13th District State Representative, Mr. Tom Dent from Moses Lake. You're a pilot. You're a ranch owner up there.
Yes, sir.
And you don't just raise cows. You don't just raise cattle up there, right? Tell us what you do up there.
Not anymore. I raise buffalo or what we also know as American bison. And that's once I was elected, I kind of stepped out of the cow business because it was too hard to do and be gone all the time.
You were first elected in 2015, right? 2015.
Took office in 2015. I ran and first met you guys in 2014 up there.
Well,
but the buffalo are more self-sufficient. They take care of themselves.
Sure.
Which
a lot of them,
Oh, really?
It's like, how you stop a bison from charging? You take away his credit card.
Yeah,
Right. See, they can just go to the store on their own. They don't need to have Tom come out and break open a bunch of bales of hay. But they're a hardy beast, man. And that's a good thing because you got things to do. Where were you? Did you ever raise a hand to the governor to say, hey, Governor, what about a special session to figure out spending before we're boxed into a corner? Or were you in favor of a special session?
I was favor of a special session, and I still am. We just can't think everything's going to fix itself and right itself, and we're all going to be fine. We got to remember something here. It's we are responsible for this money, and we need to come together as a legislature and solve these problems. But he doesn't want to do that because right now we're still under a state of emergency, and he doesn't seem to think that he needs a legislature, regardless whose party you belong to. So we are still just leaning on him for a special session to follow the Constitution, and he's still ignoring us.
Well, COVID comes to our state, and it gives you a heck of a cough. It gives him a scepter and a crown. I think he likes the authority and the power that COVID has given him. That's what I think. Too bad our Supreme Court didn't do what Michigan Supreme Court did and kind of trim back the horns a little bit on their governor. But it is what it is. So we are going to have to deal with some budgetary issues. We're going to have to deal with the loss of that Boeing line. That's going away. The unrest in the tourist and emotional capital of the state, Seattle, I guess. What do you see playing out in the legislature as you look ahead?
Oh, we're not exactly sure. We're going to see have a little different look after Election Day, but I do. One thing that I do look at is we're going to see tax proposals, guaranteed tax proposals. They want an income tax, they want a capital gains tax, and it's coming. And we'll be able to stop this, I don't know, but we're sure they're going to try. That's a fact, because you know what? Well, our last budget 2 years ago was 18% higher than the 2 years prior to that. And then we're seeing all this, and we can't cut 18% or 10% or something out of our budget to keep ourselves in check. No, and we need more taxes to fix the hole. I don't think so. How much money do we need to keep spending? You know, that's what drives me crazy. It's how much money is enough? When is it going to be enough? Well, there's the answer. Never.
Yeah, never.
You know, for some of those folks, it'll never be enough. And we're like $54 billion budget. I don't think so. We don't need that kind of spending going on out there. It was $38 billion when I was first elected on the budget I worked on. Last time it was 54. Are they going to want 60 this time? No, we got to stop. We got to put a stop to it. And rein some of this reckless spending in. That is absolutely for sure.
Well, the numbers, as it sits right now, don't favor your ability to do that with the makeup of the House and the Senate. Don't know which way the wind's blowing on some of the other elections that will take place in the state, where they'll be able to make any inroads into that majority. But as it sits now, if they want to freeze you out, you better bring a buffalo robe, don't you think? Because you'll be cold.
Good idea. I like that. I could use that. Thank you for that.
Please do.
You're right. But, sometimes if you get right down to it, things have a tendency to change. And then all of a sudden there's some folks that really don't want to go there, even though their party wants them to go there. So you never really know. And, so you win an election, say, by it's 51-49%, right? Well, that's kind of a close election. And you might have a different attitude about how you're going to vote as compared to somebody who won by, with over 60% of the vote.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So, you just will see what happens.
You got to run it up the flagpole. You got to at least make the effort, because you're right. Things could change a little bit by just like you said, like how tight races are. All of a sudden, you realize I got to pay more attention to the other side, because they're almost half of them in my district. So yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about Moses Lake and Culp. I would think that
exactly
that he should have the Moses Lake area stitched up. Don't you think? Culp?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Lauren Culp?
Yeah.
Yes, he's got Eastern Washington, I think, pretty tight. He does. Well, I see anyway. I don't see a lot. I just see support for him everywhere.
Tom, we know that you're kind of struggling here with your COVID-19. I'm glad. Just let us know if you're not feeling good and you want to get off the phone, because we do not want to.
No.
Yeah, okay.
We trying to do ditch me or what?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. No, we got plenty of time for you. Let's get back on that COVID-19. How do you think the state handled it? And what would you like to see the state do in the near future?
Well, I think at first they handled it appropriately because he didn't know what it was. But as we went forward and we began to learn about the virus and what it was, and we needed to lighten up a little bit. And instead of telling all of our people, and you guys are a classic example of this, I mean, just because of who you are, we have great respect for, instead of telling you what to do, we could talk about, the proper ways to conduct ourselves appropriately around this virus, and let's move forward. And I think we'd had buy-in from almost everybody, because the end result, the American people know what to do, and they know what to do is right. But if you lean on them too hard, they quit doing it. Okay, and especially people in the West. I mean, we're pretty independent out here, and we've always kind of done things, made our own way in life, and I think we should have done a little more of that. We shouldn't have been shut down so tight. Not only did we shut down because it hurt our people with COVID, or just hurt our economy because we've shut down because of COVID. But then now we begin to affect our children, with our mental health issues, because we've got them locked down and they can't do anything, and so our mental health issues are up about 30-40%. Now we're looking at some of our adults. Our mental health issues are up, but so are our suicide attempts, and suicides are all up.
Yeah.
And it's like, all this stuff is compounded because we don't think you should be around anybody. Well, there's appropriate ways to do that, but if you lock everybody too tight, they're just going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And then you're lost total control. That's what I believe, and I follow this stuff pretty close. And I still don't know how I got this stuff exactly right. And because I don't think you can totally stop it from happening. I mean, I've always said that from the get-go. You're not going to totally shut the world down. Nobody's ever going to get COVID again. I mean, come on, that's unrealistic. And I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining that I haven't. It just happened better me than some of the other guys that I know.
Yeah,
so,
was your attitude toward it or anything change, after you got it? I mean, as opposed to your attitude before, or nothing changed? In other words,
from the different people I talked to that had it before, they talked to me about their symptoms they went through and stuff. Seemed like maybe it wasn't as hard as they had led us to believe, but now that I have it, I think it's as hard as they might have led us to believe.
Yeah, man, oh man. What's been the toughest part of this whole thing for you? I mean, has it been respiratory issues?
No, I think it's just muscle pain.
Oh.
And the fever.
Oh, okay.
And the total lack of energy. I'm a pretty high energy guy. You guys know that. And I just don't have the energy to really do much.
Yeah, we hear that it really saps your strength and runs you out of gas without anything left in the tank. All right, Tom. Tell you what. Take 5. If you've got the time to spend with us, there's some things more we'd like to talk to you about after the bottom of the hour news.
Right on.
So we'll take a break. You grab a glass of water and maybe a shot of something else and pet your bison, and we'll talk to you in just a couple of seconds, okay? It's the Morning News, News Talk 1280 KIT. Lance Dave, Representative Tom Dent from the 14th District. We want to find out a little bit more about the differentiation between he and his opponent, and we'll get to that after this. AM 1280, News Talk KIT. The handsome gentleman to my right is Lance Tormey. The handsome gentleman to his right is... Is that Jacksonian?
I think it's...
That is Jacksonian.
Yeah, that's Jacksonian.
He's a handsome devil over there to your right.
Yes.
And
you had a little hesitation there, I noticed.
I just didn't recognize him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's such a good-looking guy sitting there. I
was going to say, he's even better looking today. That's why I went, really? Is that possible?
Yeah, that's right.
Of course, I am Dr. Laura, my kid's mom.
Thank you. All right, 7:46. We continue our candidate interviews this morning. Mr. Tom Dent on the phone with us, continuing our conversation. 13th District Republican, and good morning, Tom. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Always a pleasure.
You got it. We were just talking about COVID-19 and how the state handled it. Boy, we're hoping for anything that'll open us up a little bit more. That's for sure. But now I guess we'll talk about state budget. New taxes or program cuts. Looks like your opponent says he doesn't really want to cut many programs. You think that there's some places where the state can save money and not bring us new taxes.
Absolutely, we don't need new taxes. We can go in there. We can find some parts in our budgets that we can effectively surgically cut here and there, the things that we can live without for a while, and not really, we probably won't even feel it. There'll be a few folks who will, but for the most part, they will not. And I think that's the responsible thing to do and how we serve our constituents. So, I've never had a constituent call me up and say, raise my taxes. I'm just not paying enough taxes.
Yeah. You didn't get my call.
You guys
okay.
have never done that.
You didn't get Dave's call or something.
Well, Tom, I got to ask you about wildfire. I know that you're the wildfire caucus leader over there, and we've certainly had our fair share of fires. Earlier in the year when the lands commissioner was over, she was talking about how far behind we are in forest maintenance and that sort of thing. We got to be starting to get sick and tired of these fires. Is there anything that the legislature can do to speed up the process of getting our forests to fireproof themselves a little bit?
Well, fireproofing or firewizing our forests is going to be a challenge, but we're working on that. We speed it up. That's a function of money.
Right.
She's always wanted to come up with a different way of funding to manage her agency with a different level, different sorts of funding. So she has not given up on that. So today, and the reason Monday the 19th today, we're having a meeting. I won't be there, but a meeting that I put together with the lands commissioner. I'm going to have Kelly Sussland there. He is the director of Fish and Wildlife, along with ranchers, farmers, ranchers, and affected people. It's going to be in the Davenport sale yard. It begins at 8:30 this morning, and we're going to talk about how we're going to manage public land, for the greater good here, and not just let this fuel load continue to build up and continue to build up. And then along came Labor Day, that weekend of Labor Day, and we had that catastrophic weather event with all that fuel, and we watched 600,000 acres torch off. And, we cost a lot of homes, a lot of families, a lot of businesses, a lot. And we have to do better. And right now we have a lot of folks who are stepping up to the plate saying, okay, how we as an agency can help our lands commissioner. I mean, they're all there. They will be there at 8:30.
Excellent.
And that's my only regret today that I can't be there. But I can't. And but we can fix this. And but we have to be willing to work on it. It takes the willingness first to step up to the plate and say, okay, we can solve some of these problems. Let's cut the stuff and figure out how we can make this work. And we all get habitat. I love habitat. I love the animals. I like to fish. I like to hunt. I like to do that stuff. But I'm going to tell you, when you fly out over some of that, which I have, there's no habitat left.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all gone. And so how's that working? And that is what we have done as a human species. We preserved it in the name of something or other, and then we've lost it. We watched it go completely away. So yes, we're on track. I really think that it's unfortunate that we have to react sometimes to a crisis, but I'm going to tell you what, is exactly what we're doing is we're reacting to a crisis and saying we're going to come in here and we're going to do something about this because this isn't working anymore. So hopefully we're going to have a few hundred ranchers, farmers there, and I know the agencies are going to be there. Senator Warnick graciously agreed to step in and to mediate the meeting for me or moderate the meeting for me. Sorry, wrong choice of words, but so the meeting's going to come up. We're going to get a start today. We're going to get a start, and I think that's really, really important that we do that.
That's outstanding. Great news, Tom. Here's the thing. I think what happens with a lot of people, and I'm going to extend this to all of our liberal friends. They don't understand that the way to make a healthy plant is to prune it wisely, right? People don't get the idea that you have to cut away so that the health can really grow to its best. And they figure, oh no, don't trim, don't cut, don't do whatever, and they don't realize that it's basically harming or setting up the forest. It's the same way with people too, Tom. If when we're too soft out of our great compassion, we don't necessarily make a hardier person as an end result, right?
That's right. That's right.
I
agree.
I learned that as a kid tending buffalo on the farm back in North Dakota. So I have that in my. Well,
see, that's
go
why
ahead,
we're
Lance.
pals, okay?
Tom, what do you what's your take on what's going on with the rioting and the demonstrations and the calls to defund police?
Yeah, your opponent's got a minor in criminal justice.
Right.
I don't know where he's at on all of that, but what's your take on what's happened in Seattle to the south of us, Portland? Defund the police, as Lance says. Where do you sit with all of that?
We are a republic. A republic is a nation of laws, not of men. And if we don't follow the rule of law, then we're no longer going to be a republic. So that's what we have to do. There's just nothing about that says we can do something different. And we're setting ourselves up for some real heartache here if we don't decide to follow the rule of law. And as far as the defunding the police, I mean, I keep thinking these people are kidding me, right? I know they're not, but it is just so out there that it seems like they're kidding me.
Yeah.
And we need police protection because we need to keep us all within the bumpers. That's how it works. Nobody's immune from straying, and do we need some reforms? My talks with some of my police friends probably need some reforms. I think they need to work more with the community and with all the communities, and become friends with folks and not an adversary. It's really, really important. I remember growing up, the police were we had respect for them. We weren't afraid of them either.
Right.
And I think it's become a little more fear right now. We can work on that a little bit, but
do you see the state taking any kind of action in terms of calling for any kind of new kind of training or anything? Is that any kind of talk in the works?
The WASPIC, which is the Washington State Sheriff's and Police Association, has put together some suggested reforms, which are interesting. And I don't see anything wrong with them. A little bit of knee-jerk reaction, perhaps, but
well, I look at
and they propose that to the legislature.
I look at the people that are saying defund the police as kind of the same people that are saying put the pruning shears away. I think that's an action.
Yeah, that's right.
That will lead to the same sort of negative outcomes that we see it as it's applied to in other parts of our lives. So. Hopefully you'll hear from the association, and they'll have some reasonable changes or modifications, and you folks can get behind that and go from there. Well, Tom, I really appreciate your time this morning, especially as you fighting the good fight against COVID. What do your doctors have you doing? Just riding it out at home, or is there any kind of a super medicine that the president slipped you, or anything like that to deal with this?
No, I asked them if they could maybe touch base with the president and give me some of that stuff that he had, but so far I'm still waiting.
Still waiting, man.
Well, you're not in a hospital, and that's good, right? You're at home.
Yeah, really, yeah. And I know that I sound worse than I am. It's hard to talk. You talk very much, and then you want to cough. But,
yeah.
Well, I think
most people.
Most people ride their symptoms out at home, I think, otherwise we'd have been swamped in our hospitals long before now. So, Tom, we wish you the speediest of recoveries from here.
Can I say something before you throw me away here this morning?
You bet, Tom.
So, here about 2 weeks ago, Crop Life America had their annual powwow, and, they represent, crop consulting businesses and such across the nation.
Yeah.
And they chose Representative Tom Dent as their state leadership award. They only do one of those in the entire country, and I got to be the guy this year.
Wow!
Unfortunately,
that is quite an honor, Tom. Congratulations!
It is
fantastic.
Thank you.
You got that. Excellent. Well, we're sorry we didn't tell you about that, and you had to tell us about that. We apologize for that, but congratulations. One thing we do, Tom, before everybody freely, we say, if you were in an elevator, Tom, and everyone was looking at you, and you had a chance to tell everyone why they should vote for you, go ahead, tell everyone, give us your elevator speech. Why should everyone vote for you?
Well, because I love our kids, and our kids are our future. Kids are our legacy. We need to support and give them the opportunity to be everything that they can be. Our agricultural resources in Eastern Washington, including, and most importantly, our water resources, are something we need to support, preserve, and protect. Because without the water, Eastern Washington is not what we know. Looking out your window and my window this morning, and we touched on it. The health of our forests and rangelands to protect catastrophic wildfires is something that I have not relented on since I was elected, and I know that I'm making headway, and I want to continue to do so. And besides that, I just like people. I like all of you. I like everybody, and I'm honored to serve you, and I hope to continue to do so.
Well, you're one of the more likable guys that we get to talk to, Tom, so it goes both ways. We appreciate the work that you've done. I know that even in my extended family, some of my folks have been dealing with you on kid issues, and they're always very appreciative and pleased with the efforts that are there. So we wish you much success and quick return to good health, because you got work to do, and then we'll see how the election plays out. Tom Dent, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day.